Okay, we're gonna have to talk some people off the ledge here.
We are riding to the airport.
It's 11 o'clock.
Not the airport, the hotel.
So Clemson, I think, is pushed away enough against Pittsburgh.
You would hope so, at least.
So I think this is coming down to legitimately, does Georgia have an argument now to get into the playoff?
Matt and I were just talking about this.
They've got an argument, but I don't think it's going to happen.
If you look, they after this game, they deserve to be in. They're absolutely one of the best 4 teams in the country, and I don't think anyone after watching that game would debate that.
They're the second best team.
Sorry,
So
one of the
then
best.
that should be the end of the sentence.
It should be, but it isn't, because that's just the eyeball test. And that's not all the committee looks at. They have to look at the resume too, which includes a bad 2 losses now, one being a pretty bad one to LSU,
Right.
which is now just a good team.
I don't know if the committee exactly knows what they're looking for. Do they?
See, that's kind of my issue.
It changes each year, and they're not very consistent. That is the issue.
I think I think Georgia's got a shot. I think, and the reason why is because when Kirk Herbstreit, if what y'all said is true, says that Georgia is the 3, and it kind of doesn't matter what Oklahoma and Ohio State do, then that voice will matter in the pantheon of college football. In that committee room, Kirk matters.
They can say that they don't want a Georgia-Alabama rematch, but they were going to get one anyway if Georgia won.
Well, I don't know if they get an immediate rematch, but if Georgia gets in, they're not going to put them in at 4. They're going to put them in at 3 in front of Notre Dame. That's going to be Georgia, Clemson, and probably in Miami, and that's going to mean Alabama, Notre Dame. Now listen, man, my beef in all of this is with Notre Dame. They're just not as good as these other teams.
You talk about a ratings bonanza, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama. If it's all about money, that's what they need to do.
Notre Dame, Alabama would draw a giant number. Georgia, Clemson would be big too, but it would be the afternoon game. Afternoon game.
Both would be monster hits, though.
But more likely than not, we're going to look at a Texas-Georgia Sugar Bowl where Georgia will be a 10 or 14-point favorite. I knew that line was way too effing big.
I think
today.
everyone
way too big. That was another thing that was just stupid to me. Was that line was way too big.
Points?
Way too big. Way too big. Should have been 9, 8, something like that. I really had something felt wrong about that from the get-go. For me, Georgia could be an 11-point favorite over Texas. I don't think it'd be a lot more than that. Georgia tonight, after they played, they would probably either be a toss-up with Clemson or maybe a slight underdog. I don't know if the market would react.
They'd be favored against Notre Dame and Oklahoma.
Clearly against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. And so, again, back to the original premise here. I mean, this is a car this is dog post.
Yeah.
So that we are, towards Georgia is understandable. The way that so allegedly neutral Alabama TV corps behind us was certainly not. They would not shut up. They would not shut up, period. But they would not shut up about Alabama. The TV group behind us, the television group from Birmingham, I guess. But I think tonight. Alabama played like champions. They came back to win the game.
They earned it.
They totally earned it.
They made the plays at the end.
It's just stunning that it was Jalen Hurts that got him the last 2 touchdowns.
When I saw him come in, I was like, it's a reverse of last year. It's just
obviously, and that everybody will go nuts with that. I think too, if you're Georgia, you just have to bear down. Whether you play in the Sugar Bowl or the Orange or now it seems like the Cotton is just impossible. So whether you're in the Sugar or the Orange, you gotta just keep fighting. This team is right on top of it. To lose the conference championship by 1 play this year, to lose the national championship by 1 play last year, Georgia has been building towards this. I've been talking about this for a while now. This team can beat Alabama. This team can beat Alabama. Obviously, they showed that tonight.
The players know it too. This is still a confident group, and they said that, hey, we're one of the 4 best teams. We know it.
They went right into that, didn't they? They were not playing any games in the locker room.
Well, they know just what everyone else does. Now, Georgia is one of the 4 best teams, probably the 2nd best team in the country.
Yeah, and obviously, we talked to other media outlets. You got Rusty Manziel tonight coming right up to us going, those are the best 2 teams, right? I didn't get a chance to talk to Roddy about it, but
they feel the same way.
Well,
Jeff Sentell was super sad.
Well, I think the thing about it is that again, my beef is Notre Dame. I think Clemson has deserved it. I think their path is painfully easy, but they deserve it. But Notre Dame, I don't want to hear about Ohio State. They have completely negated themselves with the 30-point loss.
Oklahoma deserves a spot. They beat everyone on their side. They deserve a spot, but they're not better than Georgia.
Well, I don't know, but Notre Dame I know is not better than Georgia, and I can't speak to if Oklahoma is better than Georgia, but the argument Oklahoma has got to make is a very compelling one. Now it's not. We need the committee to decide: is this about being undefeated? Or is this about being the best team?
Or conference champion,
correct,
or whatever you want to call it. Make a decision.
Oklahoma has defeated every single team they've played on their schedule. They're not undefeated, but they've beaten every team that they've played.
They pulled what Georgia did last year. Lost to Auburn, came back
correct.
And beat them. I mean,
correct.
Well, so, Georgia, it was a little more clear cut that they were going to go.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, Texas today was.
They're not back.
No, they're not bad.
They really, but
they are trending upward.
But they really, really fought Oklahoma, and Oklahoma had to save themselves in that game. It was a good win for Oklahoma for sure. I don't know how you stop that quarterback, but
you stopped Tua.
Oh, I just mean generally speaking.
Oh, okay.
I don't mean Georgia.
Right.
I mean, when we were talking to David Pollock yesterday, now David, he was kind of right. I mean, they needed 30 points. They didn't get 30. They got 28. But I was thinking about what David told us yesterday. I mean, David's no dummy.
No, he's been doing this a little bit.
He knows what he's doing here. And I don't know why this just whipped us around like that. Did I make a mistake?
Yeah, you hit the wrong. It's not a big deal.
David was saying basically that the RPO is cheating, which is I think what he was.
A fun take.
Well, David is passionate, and he believes in what he believes in. And he's saying, hey, look, call the call. Now, let me Alabama is just not going to get holds called on them. It's not going to happen.
Looking through the telescope of a camera, there were so many missed holding calls. I mean, every play, I was like, that's a holding right there.
I'm sure Georgia was holding
there was on Georgia too. There was on Georgia too. I will say, that isn't just a one-way thing. There were holding calls that should have been called on Georgia.
Well,
but
Fromm had a lot of time to throw.
Alabama had, so many.
Well, here's my thing. You know what's not hard to miss is
this turn.
No, it's up here. Here we go. And what's not hard to miss? It's like the personal foul. I mean, the late hit. That was a late hit. I don't.
Everyone saw
how do you miss that?
The Eric Stokes pass interference.
That one was bad.
That was a bad call.
That was a bad call.
I like where Georgia's going.
Well,
I hate to be that guy, man. I know I think it drives people crazy the way that I am.
Well, facts are facts. There's only one team better than Georgia.
You
and
have
it's the team they got to play every year at this time.
That's correct. And that's I talked about this in Legge's thoughts. You got it. You're just going to have to beat them. You got to know that you're not going to get any preferential treatment from the officials or any treatment at all. You got to know what you're getting into. And what you're getting into is you're going to clearly have to be the better team. The way that, who was it at Miami when they went up to Notre Dame and lost? It was Barry Switz. Was it Barry? Who
is that? The convict
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah,
Catholics.
If you let them, they'll take it from you. Yeah. And I thought these kids tonight played like warriors. They played like champions. They played the one team that could clip them at the end, and they did. And the loss to LSU does hurt them for sure, because I don't think we'd be talking about this right now.
Well, we covered Georgia, and so I think all of us picked Georgia to cover in this game.
Yes.
The national guys, I don't think gave Georgia really a shot at all. I know a lot of recruits that I talked to said Bama was going to beat Georgia's ass. It wouldn't even be close. And I feel like nationally, a lot of people thought
we're past that now.
Yeah.
The question is, did you see, for instance, last year with Alabama, what they did to Clemson? We have not seen them do that to Georgia in a long time. Just manhandle them.
Yeah.
So, in the way they manhandled State or Auburn or whoever, they're not doing that to Georgia.
Georgia manhandled Alabama for a little bit there.
Well, and that's that gets back to the same sort of basic point, which is, we're we're at the end of year 3 here. The question is, how many cycles do you need to build up the depth to where you're not tired? The defense did look tired at the end of the game to me.
Yeah, they were playing a long, serious game, and it's tough to, especially when you're being held in the fourth quarter, to really get off a block. But
they're just not going to call the holdings. And I don't mean to be that guy, but they simply will not call the holds. They're not going to do it.
If you do it once, you got to do it every play.
We've gotten this far into this, and we need to discuss the fake punt.
Oh yeah, I don't know that it cost them the game. I was not a giant fan of that call.
It did not cost them the game.
It did not cost them.
Bad call.
It was a bad call.
It's hard to say that one play cost them the game, but I think their odds would have been much better.
Making them go 80 yards.
Made them go 80 yards and probably kick a field goal.
Well, the other thing too was when Bama scored, I was like, well, that's what you want if you're Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, you need time, and Jake got him down the field and nearly got him
in the Hail Mary range.
Totally. They were at the 36. Yeah, I mean, that's not a nutty ball. The one ball where, I can't remember who had it. Who the let's see, visitor parking only. Can we park here?
2 hours.
Yeah, visitors, yeah.
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Mikol. I'm not really sure.
Dropped a touchdown?
It wasn't a drop, but the ball was in his hands, and the Bama kid made a play.
Well, I think Georgia ended up scoring a touchdown that drive anyway.
Did they?
Yeah. I think that.
No. I'm talking about the end of the game.
End of the game.
Yeah, not the Mikol play.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about there.
Okay.
Justin Fields told us after the game that, I guess it was Swift or someone Herian got held up at the line or got covered.
It was, he said.
And so it wasn't there, and once it wasn't there, and that was it. Ledbetter, Kirby, I don't know if Baker, but a lot of the guys, Mikol, they said, we're here to win. We were not here to tie. We were here to win this game. And, they didn't. And that's how they sort of justified that call. What was it? Was it 4th and 4? Or what was it there? It was not 4th and super short.
What? The fake punt? It was 4th and 11.
Yeah.
Which is, that's the 4th and 4 and less. I don't hate that call as much, but 4th and 11,
yeah.
I am not.
I think we all have accountability, and that was just a bad call. It looked like at the time. Looking back on it, for sure.
I think.
And Rodrigo was.
Oh, he was
really
devastated.
hurt.
He was devastated.
And all the kids were.
Yeah.
For the record too, and the loss has nothing to do with us. It's complicated to ask questions in a losing locker room. How does this loss feel? Come on, that's bullshit.
You feel bad.
I do.
But it is our job, and we have to do it. But
and Rodrigo,
most of them understand it. He took it like a man.
No, Rodrigo said we should have taken. Essentially, he said. Now I'm speaking for him. We should have taken a 5-yard penalty there, and we should not have burned a timeout. We should have taken a 5-yard penalty. I do think a 17-point lead. I think Georgia wins that game, but
they lost by more than 3. But
they did, but the game,
the momentum just
slowed right there from Georgia towards Alabama. Yeah. All right, we don't know. My guess is they'll wind up in the Sugar Bowl, but if you got Herb Street, pounding on the table for you,
I think he tweeted that Georgia's his number 3.
My closing statement on why I don't think Georgia will make it: imagine the chaos that would ensue.
From who? Oklahoma?
From Big Ten and
that's their problem.
And the Big 12.
I think the Big 12 has an argument. I don't.
At this point, it's Oklahoma or Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah. But if Georgia made it in over Ohio State, the Big Ten's going to come chirping too.
See, I don't see the tweet here from Herb Street. I see where he, he leaves Georgia at the 4 if Alabama wins a close game. And I don't know who told me that he had them at the 3. But I
thought I saw it somewhere.
Was it you that said that, or was it Brad?
I thought I'd said something or saw it somewhere that he came out after the game and said Georgia was his 3. But
here's the thing, though. There's the other thing too, that OU has to jump Georgia. Georgia's the 4 right this second. So you do have sort of that in your advantage, if you want to call it that. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Dylan's pounding away still back here with his keyboard. All right, thanks for joining us for another edition of Riding Home. We're just going to see where we're at here. We don't know much right now.
Hey, recruiting season now.
Yes.
I know that was a tough loss, but it's recruiting time, guys. Stick with us over at Dawgs. We have a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, we have a very good special. 2 months for $2. We value our subscribers. We're not going to give the site away for free. If you like this content, this is nothing compared to the everyday that we have on the message board. Matt's insights in recruiting. We tell you what we think is going to happen. We don't always know. You know, Dylan, Dean, the whole deal. And our subscribers on our message board are top notch. There's no stupidity. We don't allow it. They have great insight and views of the world. All right, I'm going to leave it there. There's a link at the bottom. Click it, sign up. We expect to see you there. Thanks for joining us.
$2, 2 months. Wow.